Hello, I want to welcome everyone to our Doctor of Physical Therapy information session. I see that there are a few participants logging on, so we want to give everyone an opportunity to um, log on, and we'll get started here in just a minute. All right, yes. So I want to welcome everyone to our School of Physical Therapy virtual information session at Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. Please take note that this webinar will be recorded. So if you miss anything or need to hop off, please email me if you will need the recorded link for access. So my name is Tammy Trainer, and I serve as an Assistant Director of Admissions for the School of Physical Therapy. I want to again welcome each of you. Thank you for spending this evening with me. A couple things I do want to remind you, there is a Q&A section at the bottom of the screen. Any questions that come up, please place those questions in the Q&A chat, and we'll be sure to answer those questions for you at the end of the presentation. So I want to start our webinar by talking a little bit about MCPHS as a university. Did you know that we have 100 programs spanning the healthcare space as a comprehensive healthcare university? So what that means is every single program that we offer is a healthcare-based program. So you'll find students that are studying acupuncture, pharmacy, of course, dental hygiene, occupational therapy, optometry. There's so many, and I can't name them all, but they're all spanning the healthcare focus. Did you know that 14% of from 2023 to 2033 is the projected figure for employment of physical therapists? So that is much faster than the average for all occupations. About 13,600 openings for physical therapists are projected each year on average over the decade. Many of those openings are expected to result from the need to replace workers who transfer to different occupations or exit the labor force, such as to retire. And that is from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics from 2023. Did you know that MCPHS recently celebrated its 200th year anniversary? We are preparing future healthcare leaders since 1823 as the oldest university in Boston and the second oldest pharmacy school in the country. Did you know that we have 7,500 and more students enrolled from all 50 states as well as 74 countries? Yes, that's right, 74 countries. So we have a huge diverse student population. And did you know that we have clinical affiliations with world-leading medical institutions, including Brigham and Women's Hospital, Massachusetts General Hospital, and Boston's Children's Hospital? So why MCPHS? So at MCPHS, we believe the true value of a college education is what your degree does for you after graduation, which is why we are proud to prepare students for exciting and fulfilling careers in the health sciences. We empower our graduates to take advantage of the exponential growth of the healthcare industry, where 1 in 3 new jobs will be created through 2026, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. And at the top of the screen, you'll see where MCPHS reached the top of the Wall Street Journal / Times Higher Education College Rankings list, surpassing the University of Colorado, Denver, Georgetown University, and Harvard. MCPHS graduates are trained for high-paying careers in high-demand fields. So one other thing I do want to bring to your attention is that MCPHS does offer housing. So that is also on a graduate level. Since this is a graduate level program, we want to provide you with graduate level housing. So you'll see in the pictures on our screen that these are examples of some of the housing units that we offer. They're all in apartment style. You'll find a studio type of apartment, which is the picture down here at the bottom where everything is all in one room. You'll have a suite style type of apartment, which is the picture up here at the top, as well as a condo style, all in close proximity to your classes. We offer 24-hour access to a fitness center. We have cafe, studio, study spaces, as well as computer labs. And what I really love is the fact that we have a public safety team that is available to escort students to their cars if you're studying and it happens to be after dark and you need that escort. We do provide that for all students. So our units come competitively priced. So what MCPHS did was we decided to go out in the Worcester community to get prices of what housing is like in the Worcester community. And what we wanted to make sure is that our apartments are competitively priced. You'll find that financial aid recipients may utilize part of their aid towards the cost of rent. All of our units come fully furnished with utilities included in the rent. Rent is charged once a semester to the student's account and parking is available. If you want to learn more about the housing rates, you can go to our website and Google or search in the search engine on our website, Worcester housing rates, and you'll be able to see the most recent rates for our housing units. So when we talk about bringing the sciences together, there is something that sets MCPHS apart from other universities, and that is the interprofessional education, otherwise known as IPE. And you'll hear those letters IPE throughout the presentation tonight. It is basically a collaborative effort where we bring the sciences together. So for example, at a table, you might have an acupuncture student, an occupational therapy student, a pharmacy student, a dental hygiene student, and a sonography student. And your job is to come together and learn from each other. So we bring those different disciplines in schools together so that way you can learn how to collaborate with individuals that are in different disciplines. Because think about it, in the form of healthcare, no one works in a silo. We all are working together for the good of our patient. And so it's important as a physical therapist to know how to communicate or collaborate with the pharmacist in case your physical therapy student might need a certain sort of medication. How is that medication going to affect your patient? So that is something that we do. And so it is really important that our IPE functions are driven to be student-led and student-based. So that way those communication and those conversations are meaningful. So the physical therapy contemporary curriculum, it is a 3-year, 8-semester year-round program. So the integrated clinical education begins within the first semester. Be sure to understand that that is not your clinical rotations that you do off campus. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in your 3rd year. Those are the full-time clinical education experiences in the 3rd year. What we're talking about in the first semester is an integrated clinical education. And so that in the first semester is with students and professional mentorship. Early patient management is also really important, where you learn assessment and intervention skills for integrated and collaborative practice. Applied knowledge will build to include musculoskeletal, neuromuscular, cardiopulmonary, pediatric, as well as geriatric. And then in your 3rd year, you'll experience your full-time clinical education experiences, which are off campus. So when we talk about student support for growth, so every student will be assigned a faculty coach. And so that faculty coach is there as a support system for every single student. Students are also provided with a professional as well as peer tutors are available. A student-led support group is called the FLOCS. We are the Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences Cardinal. The Cardinal is our mascot. So the students decided to name them FLOCS. And what they are first-year students and second-year students coming together to support each other. Mainly the second-year students really taking the first-year students under their wings and giving them that student support system that every student needs. Students also have a supportive adjunct faculty, and something new that the physical therapy department has initiated is called grading for growth. So a lot of times when you take an exam, and let's say maybe you do sort of poorly on the exam, what the physical therapy faculty can do for you is to sit with you and talk with you about why you did what you did on the exam and where were those pain points on that exam, and then give you an opportunity to retake the exam for a higher grade. So that's really something that I find is very valuable for students in this particular program. So talking about student support, talking about the National Physical Therapy Examination preparation for the NPTE, because let's face it, that is what you are striving to be, is a licensed physical therapist. And so your course exams are written in NPTE style. Regular comprehensive exams are in NPTE style. You'll have 3 to 4 full-length practice exams and question analysis, 15-week content review in final semester, and there are study apps and podcasts that are available. So that is really, really important. We do have a high NPTE passing rate, so that definitely adds to the preparation that is put into place in the curriculum. So student support on the university level looks a little different, but there are some parallels. For academic support, we have what is called CASE, otherwise known as the Center for Academic Success and Enrichment. CASE provides peer mentoring and academic coaching, as well as helping students with learning strategies. We also have the Office of Student Access and Accommodations, otherwise known as OSA. And so for students that need those certain accommodations, the Office of OSA will be able to provide that. For career preparation, you'll find annual residency and fellowship panels, annual career fair. There's also the University Career Services, where professional resources and networking is provided, as well as the university counseling and resources. So earlier in the presentation, I talked a little bit about immediate integrated clinical education, which begins in the first semester. So in year one, your integrated clinical education will be in the fall and spring. And over here to the right are some of the examples of places where that integrated clinical education might take place. In year two, it takes place in the fall semester, spring semester, as well as summer semester. What does it look like? For year one, it looks like observation. So students are observing experts delivering clinical care. In year two, what does integrated clinical education look like? Application, where students are delivering the care. So that's really, really important. So another place where the early integrated clinical experience happens is on our Balance Movement and Wellness Center, which is our flagship on-campus clinic. So basically in our Balance Movement and Wellness Center, otherwise known as the BMW Center, you'll find that second-year students are mentoring our first-year students. What does that look like? It looks like performing patient evaluations, and it looks like designing and implementing plans of care. So basically, what the Balance Movement and Wellness Center does is it provides physical therapy to individuals that are living in the Worcester community. These are individuals who may have exhausted their insurance but still need physical therapy care. The clinical faculty oversight and mentoring also takes place in our Balance Movement and Wellness Center as well. Another part of our Balance Movement and Wellness Center is integration with curriculum. So it gives students an opportunity to present research on the patients that they're working with in the Balance Movement and Wellness Center. This could be in the form of therapeutic exercise, cardiopulmonary, or geriatrics, as well as a research poster dissemination. So as you can see in the pictures, these are some examples of the research posters that students have provided. We also have a simulation lab, and this is really a great way for our physical therapy students to learn how to work with physical therapy patients in a hospital setting. So our nursing department was kind enough to allow us to use their simulation lab. And when you have patients that are in a hospital setting, there's so many tubes and lines that you have to learn how to work with. So this gives our patients and our students an opportunity to learn what that looks like and what it should be like for a physical therapist. And as you can see, our students have quite a bit of fun in the simulation lab. So interprofessional education, where otherwise known as IPE, is something that I mentioned earlier in the presentation. It is a frequent collaborative learning event with other healthcare disciplines in the university. So students involved in multidisciplinary discussions centering on real-world issues in healthcare, including cultural humility, opioid use disorder, participation in community health screenings, fall awareness, and prevention, as well as dementia sensitivity training. So the picture at the top, this is an example of a book club or some reading that the students have to participate in. And the picture down at the bottom is an example of a dementia sensitivity training that took place here at MCPHS. So part of our contemporary curriculum is also community service. So service to the community and to the profession of PT is a core value in our program. You'll find that the picture here where my arrow is pointing is an example of community service at a place called Camp No Limits for children who have limb loss. So our students travel there to really teach children how to catch a ball, how to ride a bicycle, how to just be a child, so it's a really great opportunity. Over to my right is a jet pool for multiple sclerosis. And down here at the bottom is our students participating in the Boston Marathon. So these are really great opportunities to give back. PT Service Club, also including student-led service projects and partnered organizations. So research is also a part of our contemporary curriculum. Our faculty provides opportunities to actively engage students in research. So at the university level, here's an example of our University Scholarship Day. At the regional level, here data collection for the UMass baseball, where we're collecting data. And then here at the national level is a national conference from the APTA in San Diego. So what are our outcomes? At the end of the day, what is it that we want to get out of this program? Well, high retention rates. NPTE pass and employment rates are high. You have clinical residencies and fellowship opportunities. Many of our students become independent business owners. Many of our students find leadership within the national physical therapy community. And some of our students even decide to come back as clinical educators and adjunct faculty. So application for admission. To submit an application, you must go through PTCAS, which stands for Physical Therapy Centralized Application System. You must have a bachelor's degree either earned or expected. All official college transcripts must be submitted to the PTCAS. We look for a minimum overall GPA of 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. That also includes your science and math GPA as well. We look for PT shadowing experience with at least 10 hours. We look for completion of prerequisite courses by August 1st prior to the start of the program. That means you don't have to have every single prerequisite completed at the time you apply, but we like to see no more than 3 missing at the time you submit your application. And then if you're given an acceptance, we expect those remaining prerequisites to be completed by August 1st. There are 2 letters of recommendation are required, but 3 are preferred. And if you are an international student, we ask that you provide a WES, which is an evaluation, a course-by-course evaluation to be exact, from World Education Services. And that is for all international transcripts. And if you are a viable candidate, you will be invited to a virtual interview with the admissions committee. So admissions, what kind of admissions do we have at MCPHS? We have rolling admissions. So please, the application window is closing. If you are thinking about applying to the Doctor of Physical Therapy program, our PTCAS ends on June 2nd. So there's not much time left. Important dates to remember. PTCAS applications are still open, but as I mentioned, it is a hard deadline of June 2nd. So after that, applications will no longer be available or accepted. What do we look for in a competitive application? A cumulative GPA of 3.0. We like to see your prerequisite GPA of at least a 3.0 as a minimum. We look to read about your interest in your personal statement, your experiences, what motivates you, and having a strong virtual interview. And of course, a competitive application can also be a campus visit for you to come to our campus and view our facilities. As far as financial aid is concerned, all domestic students with a valid FAFSA, which stands for the Free Application of Federal Student Aid on file, will be considered for federal aid. Merit scholarships are up to $7,000 a year for this program. And you can schedule an affordability appointment if you are accepted into the program. And Lynn Berry Jr. is your financial counselor for this program, and he works in student financial services. And this is his contact information below. Well, we hope to welcome you to our community soon. Again, my name is Tammy Trainer, Assistant Director of Admissions. If you have any questions at all about this presentation or want to learn more, this is my email address. Feel free to write it down or take a picture. This is my office number as well as my work cell. And if you want to schedule a virtual one-on-one appointment or a phone appointment with me, this is my Calendly link. Feel free to write that down or take a picture of it as well. I'm always happy to meet with students. Now it's time for questions. Let's go to our Q&A to see if there are any questions available. So this is a question that says, do you have any special programs or opportunities for recareering individuals? My bachelor's is more than 10 years ago, so I am going to have to get all the prereqs credits again, but will need to do so part-time. So from my understanding, the university doesn't provide any special programs or opportunities for recareering individuals. However, I would strongly suggest that you schedule an appointment with me so we can talk a little bit more about your individual case. And especially about the prerequisites, because what you and I can do is work on a timeline to where you can get those prerequisites completed by a certain goal, and then you'll be able to apply by a certain year. Our program is offered only in the fall, so our next enrollment would be fall 2026. And so I can work with you to make that a goal if that's something that you would like. You could also email me a copy of an unofficial copy of your transcript, and this goes to anyone else that's listening. I can do what's called a transcript evaluation or audit. And what that does is it lets you know exactly what prerequisites we can accept and which prerequisites you will need to take. And so it'll be very clear cut and to the point. And that way there aren't any guesses as far as what prerequisites you do need to take. So please be sure to email your unofficial transcripts to me, and I'll be more than happy to do that. Great question. Are there any other questions that are out there? Well, if there aren't any more questions from our audience, this concludes our Doctor of Physical Therapy virtual information session for this evening. If you know of anyone who's also interested in physical therapy as a career, please let them know that they're more than welcome to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to discuss with them any questions that they have, as well as send them a copy of this presentation if they need so. But I am so thankful that you joined us today, and please have a pleasant evening.